Hi guys, it's Stephanie from Beautiful to the Core. Today we're going to talk about the best ways to measure your progress when it comes to working on your health and your nutrition and your overall fitness. So there are 4 different ways to measure your progress. We're going to cover all 4 of those now. The first one is measuring your weight. And everyone thinks that's the most important one, but honestly, it's just more important for calculating your macronutrients and your nutrition. But honestly, I think the more important ones are the following ones. But regardless, your weight is important to take. There's a few things you should do when measuring your weight. First off, you should definitely take your weight measurements first thing in the morning. So right after you've gone to the bathroom, take your weight. Use the same scale every time. And you definitely want to do it in the morning because you don't want to do it after a long day, after you've eaten a lot, after you've worked out, sweat out a lot. So being consistent, taking it first thing in the morning is always key. One thing I do is I take my body weight naked because that way you don't have to take into account your clothes or anything. So if you can do that, that's best. If not, try and wear the same clothing or outfit each time you take your body weight. Besides that, that's pretty simple. Then we'll move on to B, which is body circumference measurements. Now, taking these is a little bit more complicated because you have to really be consistent each time you take these measurements. In order to be consistent, I'd recommend that you have the same person take the measurements each time. So whether it's you taking your own measurements or a certain trainer or your partner, whoever it may be, I want it to be the same person each time. So I usually do measurements on myself just because my husband's not always home to take them in the mornings when I need to take them. And that way I can be sure that I'm doing them the same exact way each time. But it's really up to you. When you take the measurements, I would either do them naked once again or just wearing very tight clothing so those don't kind of get in the way and gather when you're trying to take those inch measurements. Besides that, there's 2 different tools that you can use when taking those circumference measurements. You can use a regular tape measure, just like this one here, that shows inches and centimeters. I'll always use inches. Or you can use one that is a little bit more accurate, and it's called Tape. That's the brand I have, but there's other brands. And it's really handy because it kind of loops around, and then you can push this button and pull it tight. So I find this one to be a little bit more accurate. But once again, pick one, stick with it, and as long as you're measuring with this one each time, then your measurements should be accurate and consistent. All right, so we've covered that. Now, when it comes to taking those measurements in inches, I recommend you don't just round up to the next whole inch. I always like to go by quarter inch, so to 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, or to the full inch, okay? Besides that, some people like to measure both their left and right side of the body. That's really up to you. In my opinion, they're going to be pretty similar, and as long as you can see progress on one side of the body, I'm sure it's the same on the other side. So for me, since I'm right-handed, I tend to take my measurements on my left arm and my left leg, just so it's easier for me to kind of measure those and handle this measuring tape with my right hand. But if you are left-handed, then maybe measure everything on the right side of your body. That's really up to you. But it's just quicker just to do one side of the body. That should be fine. And then lastly, some people ask if you're supposed to flex when you're taking these measurements. Definitely not. Just stay in a relaxed position. You want to measure your body circumference with the muscles completely relaxed. When it comes to taking measurements of your body circumference, here are the ones that I recommend taking. Number 1, the chest. Number 2, the arm. 3, the waist. 4, the hips or the booty. 5, the thigh. And 6, the calf. So I'm going to show you guys how I take those now. Alright, so now I want to show you how to take the 6 body circumference measurements. Go ahead and grab your tape measure, whatever one you have. Just make sure you use the same one each time. And you basically want to take your measurements, like I said before, first thing in the morning, preferably naked, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to keep my clothes on. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to measure all 6 measurements. So the first one is the chest. Basically, you want to wrap it around the largest point of your chest, basically. So go about right here. For the chest, make sure you're not taking a deep breath in while you're measuring. Just kind of hold your breath here. And you want to make sure the tape measure is straight around, parallel to the ground. You don't want it to be coming down too low or too high, because that's going to throw off your measurement. So just keep it parallel, and that's how you measure your chest. The second measurement is for your arm. Since I am right-handed, I'm going to measure my left arm. But if you're left-handed, it would be easier for you to measure your right arm. So just keep it consistent. I'm always going to measure my left arm and my left leg, basically. So for the arm, I recommend placing the arm straight out in front of you. I'm going to put the tape measure on midpoint between the elbow and the shoulder, right there. You're not flexing the arm for this one, just keep the muscles relaxed. All body circumference measurements you should just be relaxed for. And you just wrap it there, and that's basically it for that one. The third one is the waist. For the waist, you just want to measure the smallest point of your waist. So for me, I can kind of hug in right here, and it's just above the belly button. Some people might be just at or just below, but just measure your smallest area. Just bring it around, measure here. Once again, keeping that tape measure parallel to the ground, and I wouldn't suck in for this one at all, just stand relaxed for this one. Then moving down to the hips, you just slide it right down. For the hips, you want to measure the largest area of the booty as well. So I like to do this one in front of the mirror, so you can turn and kind of look and see the largest area that sticks out on the booty. Should wrap around to the wide part of your hips as well, and measure there. Okay, then we have the thigh. Like I said, I'm going to measure my left leg. So for the thigh, there's not a certain amount of distance you should go by. You should just go by the widest part. So for most of us, that's going to be the inner thigh here. So I'm going to find the widest area here. Stand with my legs straight, not flexed at all, just relaxed, and measure there. And the last one is your calf. That one's simple. You just want to keep your legs straight, measure at the widest point, and you're good to go. All right, so let's move on to C, which is progress pictures. This is an awesome way to track your progress, because I'm sure a lot of you have noticed when you are new to working out and your body composition starts to change, you might have an increase in weight on the scale here. However, if you're taking progress pictures, you might notice, man, my waist is really cinching in. Oh, man, I'm really starting to get some muscle tone and development in my arms. So I like to really focus looking at how my progress is going, mostly by pictures. So it's very important when taking these pictures to once again be consistent. So just like taking your weight and your circumference, I always do the pictures first thing in the morning as well, even though I'm not fully awake. That's kind of the best thing to do that before you eat and everything. So do those in the morning, do those in the same outfit. I always pick this same sports bra and little booty shorts, but you can pick your own outfit, preferably something that shows your skin a little bit more so you can see the progress better. But you can also pick a bikini as well so you can see even more. So that's up to you. So same time, same outfit, and definitely same location. When I first started, I took a few pictures in front of like a white wall, and then I took a few in front of the blinds, and it was really hard to compare the pictures side by side when the background was different. So find a spot in your house or wherever you live that has good lighting, that has more of a white or kind of blank canvas behind you so it's not too distracting, and try and stick to doing your pictures there each time. That way it's consistent and you can see the progress a little bit better. And basically for the pictures, it's really simple. You just want to basically take them from front view, side view, and back view. And you can take them by setting up a camera or your phone using a tripod, kind of like the one I have here. This is how I do mine. Or you can have someone take them for you if someone's home at the time. Another option is they do make little suction cup phone mounts. So you can put that suction cup like on the mirror or something to kind of mount your phone up or your camera to take the picture. But that's about it for pictures. And then D, the last one, is just kind of basing your progress on how you feel and how others feel. So, yeah, I'm feeling thinner. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of growing in muscle tone here. Yeah, my bras are starting to fit a little bit looser, so I can really feel like I'm losing some body fat. Really keep in mind that when it comes to progress, you want to look at all 4 of those things. Don't just focus on the number on the scale. Really keep a big picture when you're looking at your progress. So I hope that helps, and good luck with tracking your progress.